Fulham 1. Set piece merchants 1. What the fuck was that, guys? What the actual fuck did we all watch today? I knew this was coming. This fixture has been on my mind all season. Because Fulham, we didn't beat them last season. And once again, we have not beaten them. They have become our new bogey team. Let's talk about this game because I don't even know where to start. There's so much I want to say. And a lot of this video isn't even going to be a proper match review. I'm just going to rant for a bit. Let's do it chronologically. Let's start with that 11. That absolutely dog shit 11. Gabriel wasn't back. Fair enough. If you want to rest him because we've got some big games ahead, then fine. Zinchenko, because he's made of glass, comes back for one game and he's injured again. I'll talk about our squad after this. Calafiori's not fit, which means that we need another left back to come in. Now, what a normal manager would do is they would just pick one of the left backs that you have in your squad and just put them in the team. And we've got them. We've got Tierney. We've got MLS. But for some reason, this guy refuses to not include some of his favourites. Because Tierney and Lewis Skelly may as well not even be in the team. They may as well not even be in the team. We may as well just sell them in January because they're never going to get used. When all of our fullbacks are injured, we still don't use the only left backs at the club. Instead, we grab Timber, chuck him at left back. We put Partey at right back and put Jorginho. We also dropped Martinelli for Trossard, which I thought was the wrong decision, but it really doesn't matter because we'll talk about how both of those guys played. So straight off the bat, things aren't looking good. We've come out with a dog shit team where players have once again been played out of position, and I don't get the stubbornness with this. I don't get why he keeps trying to do this Partey right back system because we've seen this season that Partey isn't a right back. He has had some performances at right back. He's done the job, but we may as well play Timber there because Timber is absolutely amazing at right back. He's not a left back. He's a right-footed centre-back who is a very good right back because of how quick he is. So yeah. And then the way we started the game. Look, first 10 minutes, I actually thought it wasn't too bad. We weren't amazing, but we were just comfortable on the ball, trying to pass it around. And then we somehow go 1-0 down. Fulham with really their only proper chance of the game. Raul Jimenez, he showed Kai Havertz levels today. It wasn't just his goal. He was holding up the ball well, linking up play. He was very good. He was one of Fulham's better players. And he takes his goal very well, absolutely skins Kivior. I honestly wasn't that opposed to Kivior starting. I was really comfortable with the idea of him playing at centre-back because we've never really seen him play at centre-back. We saw it against Manchester United and he was very good. Got absolutely cooked. Jimenez sneaks behind him, gets a yard ahead of him, and just bolts forward. Kivior does not have the recovery pace to catch up. Games like this just show that he's simply not good enough. And we have so many players that just aren't good enough. Saliba tries to recover, but Jimenez gets a great finish. Raya probably could have done better. And we go 1-0 down. And following that goal, we were absolutely dreadful. For the remaining 40-ish minutes of the first half, little under 40 minutes, we were dog shit. We could not create anything. Look, we got criticism because we could only create from set pieces against Man United. I thought that was pretty unfair. I thought we actually did have a few chances. This game was absolutely disgusting. Let me bring up the stats here. More specifically the XG. We had 2 XG, right? 12 shots. 1.73 of that XG came from set pieces. It's just cut out there. So yeah, we were heavily reliant on free kicks, corners, and look, they were good. It was the finishes. We could have won this game from set pieces alone. But that's not a way that we should be playing. They're a great weapon. They really are. They're a great weapon for games like this. But we already had our game against United where we couldn't create. This should have been a game where we scored a real goal. And the one goal we did score, I'll get into that. I thought second half, it got a little bit better. We really weren't even offering anything in attack at all. It was the same sort of chains over and over again. The first half wasn't really set piece heavy. It was just the same shit because, shocker, the left-hand side couldn't operate because Trossard, Rice, and Timber were the three players on the left and they're all right-footed, which means every chain that went along the left just had someone cutting onto their right and sending it the other way. The amount of times I saw Trossard and Timber receive the ball, take a few touches, cut into the center of the pitch, and then lay it off with their right. It was so predictable. And then on the right-hand side, Saka and Ødegaard were trying to link up along the touchline. It just wasn't working. I thought Ødegaard was quite poor. I thought this was by far his worst game since coming back from injury. I really was not pleased with him. Second half, we get more set pieces. We come close to scoring. Saliba makes it 1-1. Very narrow onside. It was the correct decision. And it's 1-1. And from there, we've woken up. You know, we've started attacking. We've really tried to go forward, but we haven't really created many open play opportunities at all. There were a few set pieces that we probably should have scored on. Thomas Partey missed a sitter from, I think it was a free kick or a corner. I can't exactly remember. Unforgivable. And look, there's a world where I'm sitting here saying, fair play to Arsenal. We won the game when we really didn't deserve to win it because we had the chances to win this game. I'm not going to say that we deserved to win because the performance itself was quite poor. But second half, we had the chances to win this game. But we fucked it. We kept fucking it. The subs as well were just awful. Jesus and Martinelli came on, offered nothing. There was one moment where Jesus got a ball over the top and he pussied out like a little bitch. He thought Leno was going to come out for the ball. He could have shot, could have made it 2-1, but he just didn't. He just didn't because he thought the goalkeeper was going to come out and he just didn't put his body on the line. This guy is just not fit to play for this club. He's not. There were a couple of other chances. Kai Havertz scuffed one towards the end and then the goal. Oh my God. Gabriel Martinelli receives the ball on the left, goes forward, crosses it in with his right, and Saka heads it through the goalkeeper's legs to make it 2-1 in the 88th minute. And I was absolutely buzzing. I thought we'd gotten away with it. I remember I was having a conversation with one of my mates. I was saying that it's all good to score 5 goals and smash teams. But it's these games where we play shit, where we go 1-0 down that I need to see us come back. And I was so happy. I was ready to come on here and say that we are going to win the league, that we have an amazing mentality. But then the goal gets chalked off. And I thought I'd already seen the most unforgivable individual errors this season. I thought I'd already see it. Both Trossard. I thought it was the red card against Man City at halftime and playing the ball back which against Bournemouth, which resulted in the Saliba red card. This trumps that because this directly dropped us the points. You know, you can theorize about how things would have gone. If Trossard didn't get sent off, would we have potentially beaten City? Maybe. If Trossard didn't get Saliba sent off, could we have gotten a result against Bournemouth? Maybe. These are all, you know, ifs and maybes. But today, he single-handedly dropped us those points. If I was Saka, I would feel absolutely gutted. I would feel so I can't even describe it because he was doing everything he could. He was coming up against Anthony Robinson, who was going crazy. He was having a very good game. He was one of Fulham's best players. But Bukayo Saka was consistently trying. He was consistently sending crosses in that no one was able to get on. Havertz was anonymous today, and I'll get to the player ratings at the end. And he was the one that dragged us back into this game, that scored the winning goal, and Martinelli. Unforgivable offside. Go back and watch it. It's not like there was two reasons why that was unforgivable. The first is he wasn't even trying to burst forward. It's not like he was trying to get forward of his man, burst forward, either send a ball into Saka after cutting inside, or just go in himself and shoot. No. All he did was receive the ball and cross it at the back post. That's all he did. There was no reason for him to be offside. But the one that I think is even worse is that where he was positioned, he could see the entire defensive line. There is nobody that had a better view of whether or not Martinelli was offside than Martinelli. And we need to have a serious conversation about this guy, because for almost a year and a half, he has been absolutely shit. And I have backed him. I've been one of the few people that have said give him time. He had a bad season where he had foot injuries pretty much the whole way through. He was never fully fit. And he's had somewhat decent games this season, but he's been so inconsistent. And he's dropped us so many points. Atalanta, he should have scored. Bournemouth, he should have scored. If it wasn't for him, we would genuinely be right behind Liverpool on the table right now. And you could say that about a few players. But yeah, it's 1-1. We had the opportunities in the second half, but I can't let myself say that we deserve to win this game, because first half we were absolutely shocking. Fulham, fair play to them. They offered absolutely fuck all after their goal, but they defended so well. But of course, Calvin Bassey goes and gets himself booked, and he's going to miss the Liverpool game. You just know that after putting in the performance of a lifetime against Arsenal, Fulham are going to go to Anfield next weekend and they're going to bend over. They're going to bend over, and Mo Salah is going to absolutely penetrate them. Liverpool are going to win 3-4-0. I'm telling you right now. And that's what is the worst part about this game, because this was a golden opportunity to go forward in the title race. Man City dropped points again to Palace. I was expecting them to go on some massive winning run after beating Nottingham Forest, but they dropped points again. Liverpool don't play against Everton. Games postponed. So even though they have a game in hand, it is a great opportunity to get points on the board. I'd much rather have points on the board, can tell everybody that we're 4 points behind Liverpool and put the pressure on them, because they have to then win their game to sustain their lead. But instead, we bottle it. We drop points. We miss sitters. We put in a disgusting lineup. And the result against Newcastle from midweek is meaningless. It doesn't mean shit anymore because we've just cancelled it out. We are back to square one. We are back to thinking that this league is probably unwinnable. I'm being real. Look, there's a possibility. It is not even Christmas yet. But it's such a big gap. And we are just simply not good enough right now. We are carrying too many passengers at this club. Too many players that aren't good enough. Gabriel, all the subs. None of the subs had any impact whatsoever. I did like the substitution of Ethan Nwaneri. I enjoyed that he got brought on. It would have been nice if he had more experience, starting when Odegaard was injured instead of that bum Trossard. But no. Martinelli and Jesus, those guys aren't Brazilian. They're El Salvadoran, they're Bolivian. They're not Brazilian, because those guys are absolutely shit. We need to bin them in January and sign some real world-class forwards. Let's go through player ratings now. Starting off with the goalkeeper, David Raya. I'm going to give him a 4. I was a bit disappointed with his performance. Look, he didn't have any outrageous errors. It's not like the goal was completely on him. He probably could have done better, but blaming the goal on him would be a little bit harsh. But he just didn't look on it today. He didn't. I felt like his distribution was a bit sloppy at times. He was slowing down our attack, especially towards the end. He should have been moving the ball faster. That's what he does a lot. And I just thought he was a bit sloppy. Saliba was arguably our best player. We do not deserve this guy. We honestly do not deserve this guy. Even though we lost, I'm going to give him a 7. He was absolutely carrying Kivior. He had the job of the whole defense pretty much, because no one else in that defense was particularly great. We do not deserve William Saliba. And if we don't win a trophy this season, I would not be surprised if we see him go. If we see him go to Real Madrid. Because even though they are having one of their worst seasons in years, they are still on track to win La Liga. So why not go? Why not go? Anyway, 7 for Saliba. Kivior can get a 4 as well. Got cooked for that first goal. Absolutely cooked. Didn't really make any terrible decisions, or didn't really give the ball away a whole lot, but just got carried a bit by Saliba. Saliba was holding his hand that whole game. Thomas Partey, I'm going to give a 6. Not because I thought he put in a great performance, but because considering that he was at right back, he did so well. I do not get this manager. I do not get him. Partey has been our best and most consistent midfielder this season. Declan Rice has been underwhelming. I'll get to him. Ødegaard's been injured, in and out of the side. But Thomas Partey has stepped up when everyone at the start of the season was calling him finished, was saying that he would be sold by January. He has kept his head up and he's done the job. He's done so well over the past few months. When we've been in bad form, he's been outstanding. Yet he still gets relegated, demoted to right back. But he put in a decent performance. Nothing great, so I can't give him higher than a 6. But just because he was out of position, I'll give him a 6. Same with Timber. Timber, I'll give a 5. And it's not his fault. It's not his fault. It's this manager. Why is he being put at left back? We've seen him at left back. He's nowhere near as efficient as at left back as he is at right back. There's no need. That one injury and we're completely rotating the entire team. Now for the midfield. Jorginho can get a 3. He was dog shit. On the ball, he was, doing a little bit. He was creating stuff, but off the ball, he was getting cut through. I mean, the amount of times that Fulham just went from one end to the other, won the ball in midfield, they honestly, at times in midfield, they cooked us. There were some passages of play where they were winning headers, cutting it around. Whilst they didn't offer anything attacking-wise, there were times when they really limited what we could do. And Jorginho was trash. Rice was a mixed bag. I honestly don't even know what to make of Rice's performance because he had most of the set pieces today. There weren't really many corners that Saka took. It was mostly Declan Rice corners, Declan Rice free kicks, and his delivery was very good. Just like normal, his delivery was great. If these players could finish, we would have won this game. Off the ball as well, he looked very good. He was winning the ball. I thought he actually put in a decent performance, but there were times when he just didn't do enough. There were times, I remember that in the first half, early on, he got the ball, he took it first time. Take a couple of touches, cut inside. That was a massive chance. We could have gone 1-0 up. Or made it 1-1. I can't remember when exactly that was, if it was before or after the goal. It was quite early in the first half. I'm not going to dig into him too much because I thought that he was our best midfielder. So I'll give him... I don't know. I feel like a 7 is too much, but then he wasn't better than Partey. He was better than I'll give him a 6. I'll give him a 6. I'll credit Partey for being out of position. Rice was better, but Partey was playing in a different position. So I'll give him a 6. I don't want to give anyone too high ratings because we did drop points in this game. We didn't lose, but This result isn't good enough. Erdegaard. Gibraltar Guard, as people have been calling him. I'm not going to slate the guy because he's arguably our best player. He's one of our best players. But I was so disappointed with him. I was so disappointed. The channels on the right were shit. We couldn't move the ball forward. We couldn't create anything. He did have a few moments. There was when Havertz missed that sitter, it was a great pass. So I'm going to give him a 5. Just an average performance, but really disappointing. If it wasn't Erdegaard, I'd give him a 6. But because of the level I hold him to, I'm going to criticize him when he underperforms. Now going to the attack. Bukayo Saka can get a 7. Him and Saliba were the 2 best players on the pitch. I do not want to see any slander from Arsenal fans, from rival fans. I do not want to see slander towards this guy because they're going to show his 6.8 match rating or whatever he got on FotMob or all these apps. But he was by far our best forward. In that front four, he was trying to do everything. Everything was running through this guy. Everything. He was taking on Anthony Robinson, who's one of the most informed fullbacks, sending crosses in, but these bums in attack, and I'll talk about them, offered nothing. Kai Havertz. I'm going to give him a 2. He was the worst player on the pitch. The worst player on the pitch. Offered absolutely fuck all. Against United, he didn't score. He didn't really do anything. But in the second half, he was holding up the ball. He was linking up play. None of that today. None of that. He was anonymous. And Kai Havertz, look, he's disappointed me so much this season. Because last season, I was one of his biggest fans. I was arguing with rival fans who were saying that we could not win a Premier League with Havertz up front. And I said, yes, we can. We can win the Premier League with Kai Havertz up front. We can do it. It is a possibility. He's not a world-class forward. He's nothing like that. But I thought he could do a job. And at the start of the season, he was very good. You know, he was getting us results. He had that streak where he was scoring at the Emirates. His goal against PSG, his goal against Southampton that got us back into that game when we were playing terribly. Performances like that was what really made me think that we might actually win the league with this guy. But lately, he has been disgusting. You know, he scored a couple of tap-ins when we're smashing teams, and that's fine. But where are you when the points are on the line? He was nowhere to be found. Honestly, his performance today was the most disgusting of all, just because he didn't try. At least these players in midfield and defence, they were putting in an effort. Havertz was nowhere to be seen. The one opportunity he had that could have won us the game, he scuffed it. If we had an Isak, a Gyökeres, if we had a world-class forward, they put that chance away. And even though they may have potentially had a bad game as well, they get the goal and they get us the points. We really need to bring in some quality forwards and get rid of these bum players. Trossard, I'll give a 3. Offered nothing at all. He cannot start games. He just cannot start games. He's fine off the bench. He can get you points off the bench, but he doesn't have the legs. He just doesn't get involved enough. It's fine to bring some fresh legs off the pitch. We saw it against United. He was honestly our best forward in that game, but today didn't offer anything. And now the subs. Oh, the subs. Nwaneri, I'll give a 5. I'm not gonna sit here and flame the kid. It's not like he did anything wrong. He just wasn't able to really get involved much. And he came in a big role, replacing our captain, who I swear gets hooked more than any other attacking-minded captain in the league. He's 25 years old, isn't he? 25, 26 years old. He's our main creator. He's our captain. And I swear, these games, he gets hooked too much. You don't see players like, you know, your Kevin De Bruyne, your Mo Salah. Kevin De Bruyne's up there in age, but you don't see a prime Kevin De Bruyne, a Mo Salah. You don't see these types of players getting hooked. when the game's on the line, when there are points on the line. You don't see that. So Nwaneri, unfortunately couldn't impact the game, but he's 17 years old. Maybe if he got minutes in him earlier in the season, that would have helped. Gabriel Jesus, I'll rate him and Martinelli together. They can both get ones. Disgusting. I honestly, going into this season, I thought they were gonna do something. I thought they were both unlucky with injuries and poor form last season. I really thought that a good preseason was going to get them into form. They've been woeful. They've been our two worst players by far this season. The amount of times that they've come off the bench and offered nothing. Jesus hasn't scored a Premier League goal since January. He scored one goal for Arsenal in almost a year, and it was away at Preston. Insanely unacceptable. And I already talked about the Martinelli offside. He got the ball about 5 times, did nothing with it, and the one time he did, that bum was offside. Send these guys back to El Salvador and sign a world-class forward. Go bring me a world-class forward. And I don't care if it's a striker, if it's a left winger. I'd honestly rather a left winger because at least Havertz can put in good performances. We really need both. We really need a new left winger. We need a new striker. That's not going to happen because this recruitment is fucked. Arteta, the one thing worse than his adaptability is his squad building because the squad that he's built is shit. We need to talk about this squad. It is absolutely shit. Anyway, I think I've gotten everything off my chest. Haven't really talked too much about Fulham. I'll save it for the game week review. I'll save it for that. I'll more talk about Fulham's performance and how they kept a really big point at home and they're going to bend over to Liverpool next week. So game week review will come out tomorrow after the El Sacico West Ham versus Wolves. Whoever loses this game could be losing their job. But enough about that. Thank you for watching my rant. Yeah, this league, I honestly, it's done. Like, I said the same thing when we drew to Chelsea. But we needed a winning run. We needed a winning run. We needed to win 4, 5, 6, 7 games in the Premier League. We needed to get... Because the schedule we had, we could. We've got Everton next week. We'll probably beat Everton. Watch, we'll probably come out and put in a good performance. But it's results like this. Last season. If you ask me, why did Arsenal not win the league last season? Because of Fulham. Because we drew at the Emirates. We lost at Craven Cottage. Results like that. That is why we didn't win the league. And if we don't win the league this season, when we inevitably don't win the league this season, because I don't see it happening anymore. You'll ask yourself, why didn't Arsenal win the league? And this is the kind of game you'll think back to. You'll think of that early run of Newcastle, Bournemouth, Chelsea. You think of those games. But you'll also think of this game. A game where we couldn't take our opportunities and we couldn't score. It's post-Christmas all over again. We do the same shit every year. Anyway, thank you for watching my ramble. I'll be back with the game week review. Sorry I didn't get any predictions in. I was busy all weekend because it was my birthday on Sunday. So I was doing shit all weekend. Arsenal never win around my birthday. It never happens. But yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace. Come on, you Gunners.